Now to your vote. Congressman Salud Carbajal is in a battle to keep his seat in the 24th Congressional District. News Channel 3's Elise Martinez spoke with him via Zoom as he recovers from COVID-19.
In the middle of his re-election campaign, Congressman Salud Carbajal contracted the coronavirus. He's currently recovering from mild symptoms in quarantine.
This is a serious thing.
Representative Carbajal says he took every precaution but was still exposed in Congress. The two-term incumbent, who's up against Republican Andy Caldwell, says President Donald Trump and the Republican Party were reckless in their COVID-19 response.
The president all along knew that this was a very significant, contagious, and deadly virus. And certainly he's never put in place any comprehensive strategy. He's never put in place the Defense Production Act to produce more PPE for the entire country. Instead, he's really polarized this issue and polarized whether we should be wearing masks or social distancing.
Carbajal, who served in the U.S. military, says President Trump has divided the country.
This president has really demonstrated that he's just not up for the challenge of being our president. And I think the best thing we could do is make sure that comes November, we have a new administration in the White House.
The growing federal deficit is also a concern for Carbajal, who says the GOP tax proposal only benefits the top 1% and adds trillions to the nation's debt. He says the president and corporations need to pay their fair share in taxes.
We just learned from the media that this president paid $0 in taxes for many years, and the last few years, he paid $750 in taxes. That's less than my 20-year-old son pays. That is audacious.
He says another key issue is climate change.
We are now even having year-round fire seasons in California. A big part of climate change is resulting from human activity. And that's why we need to make sure that we are not emitting more emissions, that we are mitigating those emissions, and that we take the challenge seriously.
Fracking, Carbajal says, has always been a challenge.
I'm proud that I also sponsored the Central Coast Heritage Protection Act, which is a bill that would put into conservation of the public lands and U.S. Forest Service, Los Padres Forest, and the Carrizo Plain, over 250,000 acres into conservation, and stop future gas and oil drilling on those public lands.
A big issue on the Central Coast is lack of affordable housing and the high cost of living.
We need to continue to provide the type of financial grants and funding for states and local governments so that we could partner at all levels of government to incentivize more workforce and affordable housing.
Along with good-paying jobs, Carbajal says we need to focus on partnerships between the public and the private sector.
I think it's important we do that so that people who grow up on the Central Coast can have a shot at owning their home in the future.
Carbajal says he's used his role on various committees to create jobs and help rebuild areas damaged by natural disasters like the Montecito debris flow. Carbajal says this election provides a big contrast and a clear choice between what he represents and what his opponent, Andy Caldwell, does not.
In my opponent, you have somebody who, like the president, has called COVID a hoax. He does not believe in women's right to reproductive choice or healthcare decisions for themselves. He is a climate change denier.
In Santa Barbara, Elise Martinez, News Channel 3.